The UU Fellowship Worship Associate Team. Each week, this community comes together to participate in worship, music, and reflection. This is where we seek to have our hearts opened and our imaginations fired. This is the place that reminds us we are deeply connected to one another and all living things. If you are visiting with us this morning, welcome. This fellowship is a religious community grounded in the heritage and values of Unitarian Universalism. We seek to create a loving community, inspire joy and spiritual growth, and to support courageous action. All are welcome regardless of religious background, political persuasion, ethnicity, age, ability, sexual orientation, or gender identity or expression. If you would like more information about this fellowship or Unitarian Universalism, please see our website, uufc.org. If you are interested in getting our weekly newsletter, please reach out to the office by email or website, or in the announcements in the back of the order of service. And I'd like to welcome our visitors. If you are here visiting with us today and are willing and able to stand and introduce yourself, please do so. And if you're doing that, please wait for the mic. So do we have any visitors today? No, not today. All right. And we also extend a special welcome to anyone viewing us online. And after the service, we always have coffee and social hour. So please feel free to join that as well. I have a few announcements. And there are more on the back of your order of service. Please look at those as well. The first one is we need delegates to serve as representatives of the congregation for the UU General Assembly. This year, that will be June 18th to the 22nd. It's an important role. It provides a vote on important matters at the denominational level. If you're interested, please contact Reverend Holly or myself. And again, I'm Leslie Vissage, so just let us know. And today, after the service and a short coffee hour, we're going to have a congregational meeting at noon. And you can join us either here in the sanctuary or on Zoom. And this will require a quorum of members. We are voting on nominations for members of the Shared Ministry Committee, the Planned Giving Committee, and the Audit Committee. And we'll also cover the 3 congregational study action items that will be voted on at the General Assembly. And this evening, there will be a viewing party at 5:30 in the social room for an evening of laughter and good company, and they will be showing the 26th Mark Twain Prize for Humor, which was given to Conan O'Brien. And the host will provide hors d'oeuvres and desserts, and it's bring your own beverage. And they'll also ask for a donation for the minister's discretionary fund. RSP to Gordon Crane or Elaine Fredendall. And on Saturday, May 10th, there'll be a grounds work day here at 8:30 to 11:45. Please contact Meg Williamson if you can help. And the last announcement is that the service auction was last Saturday, and it was a success. I'd like to thank the people who helped, especially Joe Galliard, Elaine Faithful, Alan Goldsmith, and Jennifer Reese. Oh, and Dave Sanders, thank you. And there's also quite a few other people who helped with the auction, both people who donated items and people who bid and bought items, because if you don't buy items, then the auction isn't really worth anything. But we raised over $4,000, and our goal was $3,000. So it was a success, and thanks to everybody who did it. So.
I would like to also extend a warm welcome to seeing all of you this morning. I'm the Reverend Holly Brown. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the minister here at UUFC. And I want to mention before our opening words a couple of things. One, today's service is going to be a little bit different. There'll be some movement and other elements that are not as part of our regular Sunday service, but a very special flower communion service. And if you haven't yet had the opportunity to bring your flower forward while we're doing the opening hymn in just a couple of minutes, or in a minute, I invite you to come forward during that time to bring your flowers up. All right. Our opening words this morning are from Mary Oliver, from the Book of Time, which is a really long poem that I'm going to use an excerpt of. Even now, I remember something, the way a flower in a jar of water remembers its life in a perfect garden. The way a flower in a jar of water remembers its life as a closed seed. The way a flower in a jar of water steadies itself, remembering itself. Long ago, the plunging roots, the gravel, the rain, the glossy stems, the wings of the leaves and the swords of the leaves, rising and clashing for the rose of the sun. The salt of the stars and the crown of the wind, the beds of the clouds, the blue dream, and the unbreakable circle. In the spirit of having our service today as a multi-generational service and to get us in the mood for a more joyful, imaginative service, I invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit to join in singing number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In.
Today will be a joyful day.
to light the chalice, and I've invited Talia to help me with that. And let us share in the reading of this fellowship's affirmation, which is in your order of service. We gather together in a spirit of love, with justice as our guide. This is our chosen covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth with freedom, to care for one another. Thank you.
This morning, it's one of by Pat Brisson, illustrated by Marianne Coca Leffler. One morning in May, on the way to school, Wanda noticed a bush growing in the empty corner lot at Fillmore and Hudson Streets. It must have been growing for a while because it was about 2 feet tall, and Wanda was surprised she hadn't noticed it before. But there it was, bare and thorny, and Wanda, who loved beautiful things, felt her heart beat faster. A rose bush, she said to herself, my very own rose bush. Now, the rose bush didn't really belong to Wanda, but since no one seemed to own the lot or the heaps of junk that were piled there, she decided she would care for this bush and make it her own. All during school, she thought about her rose bush. In art, she drew pictures of what it would look like in bloom. During library, she borrowed books on arranging flowers. During science, she asked so many questions about how to take care of it that finally her teacher said she really must stop asking questions about roses and start thinking about electricity, which was what the lesson was about. After school, she rushed to the rose bush. It was still bare and thorny. Maybe it needs more sun, thought Wanda. So she put down her school bag and started dragging some of the nearby trash to the curb. Mrs. Turner, who was on her way to the store, stopped to help her with a broken chair. Cleaning up the neighborhood, Wanda? Mrs. Turner asked. That's a nice project for you. Oh, I'm not just cleaning, Wanda told her. I'm helping my rose bush to get more sun so it will bloom. Your rose bush? Mrs. Turner asked. Where is your rose bush? Over there, Wanda said, pointing proudly to the bare, thorny bush. Oh, Wanda, I'm not sure that's a rose bush, Mrs. Turner said gently. Sure it is, said Wanda. I've seen rose bushes in books, and this is what they look like before they bloom. You just wait. In a few weeks, this lot will be full of roses. Well, said Mrs. Turner, shaking her head, good luck with it, Wanda. And as she walked away, Mrs. Turner thought to herself, if that's a rose bush, then I'm the Queen of England. The next day after school, Wanda hurried to her rose bush. It was still bare and thorny. Maybe it needs more air, thought Wanda. So she put down her school bag and began taking more trash to the curb. Once I get all this trash out of here, nothing will block the air getting to my rose bush, Wanda thought. Mr. Claudel was on his way home from work, saw Wanda trying to drag an old door, and stopped to help. Cleaning up the neighborhood, are you, Wanda? He asked. Not just cleaning, Wanda told him. I'm getting rid of this trash so my rose bush will get more air. A rose bush? Here? Mr. Claudel asked. And so Wanda showed him her rose bush. I don't know much about gardening, Mr. Claudel said, frowning, but I don't think that's a rose bush. Sure it is, said Wanda, and in a few weeks this lot will be filled with the sweetest smelling roses you ever saw. She thanked Mr. Claudel for his help and went off to drag away some more trash. Mr. Claudel shook his head. If that's a rose bush, he said to himself, then I'm the King of France. Every day after school, that week and the next, Wanda worked in the empty lot. Mrs. Giamoni, who lived in the apartment next door, gave Wanda trash bags for the old shoes, beer bottles, broken toys, and bits of glass that she was picking up. You've done a great job cleaning up this lot, Wanda, Mrs. Giamoni told her. Oh, I'm not just cleaning, Wanda said. I have to get rid of all this trash so that my rose bush will get enough sun and fresh air to bloom. But where's your rose bush? Mrs. Giamoni asked. So Wanda showed her. Mrs. Giamoni put her hand on Wanda's shoulder and spoke softly to her. Wanda, she said, this is not a rose bush. Oh, but it is, Wanda said, and in a few weeks this lot will be filled with the most beautiful roses you've ever seen. That would be nice, said Mrs. Giamoni, but I don't want you to be disappointed if this bush doesn't bloom. Don't worry, Mrs. Giamone, Wanda answered. I won't be disappointed. Mrs. Giamone sighed. That is not a rose bush and will never be one, she thought to herself. The next week, when the rose bush still wasn't blooming, Wanda talked to her school librarian. I need some books about getting roses to bloom, she told Ms. Jones. Oh, do you have a rose bush, Wanda? Ms. Jones asked. Yes, but it doesn't have any flowers yet, and I know it has enough sun and fresh air. Does it have enough water? Ms. Jones asked. Water, Wanda said. Of course, that will make it bloom. That afternoon, she hurried to the rose bush. It was still bare and thorny. She looked at the dry ground and smiled. Don't worry, little bush, she said out loud. I'll get you some water, and then you'll be able to grow flowers. Wanda went to the butcher shop across the street. Mr. Sanchez, will you please give me some water for my rose bush? Rose bush? Is that what I see you taking care of and talking to every day over there? Are you sure that's a rose bush, Wanda? Mr. Sanchez asked. Oh, yes, I'm sure, Wanda said, but it can't bloom because it needs water. Mr. Sanchez gave her water in a plastic bucket. I hope that really is a rose bush, Wanda, he said doubtfully. You'll see, Wanda told him. In a few weeks, that whole lot will be full of roses. As Wanda carried the water to her rose bush, Mr. Sanchez muttered, in a few weeks, that thorn bush will still be a thorn bush. Every day, Wanda ran to her rose bush after school, but every day it was still bare and thorny. She watered it and sang to it and checked its bare branches for roses. Mr. Claudel, on his way home from work, stopped to see if there were any roses yet. Mrs. Turner, on her way to the butcher shop, stopped to see if there were any roses yet. Mrs. Giamone, seeing Wanda in the lot, called down from her apartment to ask if there were any roses yet. When Wanda went to the library at school, Ms. Jones asked if there were any roses yet. And every day, when Wanda went to the butcher shop for water, Mr. Sanchez asked if there were any roses yet. To each person, Wanda would answer the same thing. Just you wait. This lot will be filled with roses. And then, one day in June, Wanda had an idea. Looking at the bare, thorny bush, she said, if my rose bush won't give roses to me, I'll just have to give roses to my rose bush. And when she saw Mrs. Turner, Mr. Claudel, Mrs. Giamone, Ms. Jones, and Mr. Sanchez, she gave each of them an invitation that said, please come for tea and muffins to Wanda's Rose Garden Saturday morning at 9. Oh dear, said Mrs. Turner. Is she still expecting to get roses from that bush? Oh no, said Mr. Claudel, and she's worked so hard too. Oh my, said Mrs. Giamone, she'll be so disappointed. Oh darn, said Mr. Sanchez, there must be something I can do. Oh good, said Ms. Jones, who had only heard about the bush from Wanda and hadn't seen it for herself, and I'll bring the muffins. The night before the tea party, everyone was very busy. The next morning at 9, everyone was surprised to see Wanda's rose bush covered with roses. Paper roses that Wanda had made herself and carefully tied to each bare, thorny branch. But more surprising yet, everyone who came to the party had brought along a rose bush to plant near Wanda's, except Miss Jones, who had brought delicious blueberry muffins. After they had eaten their muffins and drunk their tea, they all got busy planting rose bushes. Mr. Claudel and Mrs. Turner dug the holes. Mrs. Giamone held the bushes in place while Wanda and Ms. Jones filled in around the roots with soil. And Mr. Sanchez brought water from his shop and watered them all thoroughly. When the work was finished, Mr. Claudel said, Wanda, this is going to be a rose garden fit for a king. Or a queen, said Mrs. Turner. Wanda and the others smiled. And later that summer, the whole lot was filled with the biggest, the most beautiful, sweetest smelling roses that anyone had ever seen, just as Wanda had said it would be.
This is the time we set aside for the offering in order to give towards the financial vitality of this community. Also, 25% of the undesignated collection each week goes to an organization that we partner with. For the month of May, we are partnering with Clemson Child Development Center. Each week, we also collect non-perishable food for the Clemson Community Cares Food Bank. You may give by going to the UUFC website and using the donate button. There you will see options for paying your pledge and donating towards the organizations we partner with. And we thank you for your generosity.
Thank you. I want to also thank you for your generosity, for your financial contributions that help make the ministries of this congregation possible, and also for the sharing of your joys and concerns that make this community of care and the ministries of generosity of spirit possible. For each of these joys and concerns, I've asked Leslie to place a stone in this bowl, this vessel representing our shared community. Have a joy from Elaine Faithful, a special thanks to Alan Goldsmith, Jennifer Reese, and her daughter Jamie for the enormous help with the auction. Yes, all the behind the scenes, taking photos and helping move things is so important. And Dave Sanders shared that I'm happy to share that we are $900 away from our solar project goal. Please remember to RSVP for the solar lunch and learn on May 18th to Sarah Summers Hoskin or Dave Sanders. Let's see. All right. And Kathy Crane shares the joy that when I look at the tall Euphorbia, okay, thank you. By the window, right over here is to celebrate Mary Alice. The plant came from her estate. Many thanks to the friends who assisted in the estate sale, which contributed over $1,000 to UUFC. Our fellowship was dear to Mary Alice, and we loved her too. Yes. And Nancy Brown shares a joy that her husband finally finished 4 months of chemo and radiation this past week. Yay, and thank you for all your kindness and concern. And we have a joy from Elaine Faithful to Mary Orem and Kathy Crane for the kind, loving care while she's been healing. And then one from Paula and Jorge, and joy of their successful move to Avalon Retirement Center over in Patrick Square, and great gratitude and thanks to all who helped, especially Kathy Crane and Louis Breaker that helped get them packed this past week. And I want to just name this for a moment. Today is May the 4th, which is also known as Star Wars Day. And so I had the delight and joy of coming up and finding this on my chair up here holding my inhaler. It's a little squishy Darth Vader. So may the 4th be with you. And I don't know if anybody else had the response of may the peace be with you, and also with you from your childhood religious traditions. And finally, I would like to place one last stone in this vessel representing all of those joys and concerns that remain quiet and tender upon our heart today. Thank you. And now we have another song, and I invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit wherever you are to join in singing. But I want to say something really quickly, that today is a multi-gen service, so the kids are invited to stay in the sanctuary with us to participate. However, the nursery is open for any of our kids 10 and under that would like to go there during the service. Okay, now, all of you to help sing number 346, Come Sing a Song With Me.
Let
Today's reading is the story of Norbert Chopek, Flower Ceremony. Norbert Chopek's mother was a devout Catholic. His father was an agnostic. At 18, he apprenticed to his uncle, a successful tailor in Vienna. Norbert discovered the Baptists and became a minister. He left Bohemia under government threat and accepted a call to serve a Baptist church in New York City. Until one day in 1919, that day, he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside me." Norbert and his wife, Maya Chopek, spelled different than as you say it, joined a Unitarian church in New Jersey in 1921. For the same reason a lot of you did. Their children liked the religious education program. World War I ended, his home country now independent. He and Maya returned home to Czechoslovakia. His Unitarian church was the Prague Liberation Religious Fellowship. The traditional Christian communion service of bread and wine wouldn't meet the needs of his congregation because his church, like ours, had people who believed different things. Chopek returned to the beauty of the countryside, to the beauty of flowers. In 1923, he developed the flower ceremony. He asked his congregants to bring a flower to church from their gardens, the field, or the roadside. He invited each person to place their flower in a vase. There was the church community, no less unique for being united. Following the service, each person could take a flower from the vase, a different one than they had brought. Chopek was a visionary minister with a church ahead of its time. A bold church, a church thinking beyond its doors, beyond what it thought possible. It was a church that was willing to take risks, to make tough decisions, to bear disappointment, and to build a new way, first by building a church, and that church could build up the world. For this, the Gestapo arrested him in 1942. The Nazis accused him of listening to foreign broadcasts and sent him to the Dachau concentration camp. Even in starvation and torture, he held a flower ceremony with his fellow prisoners, finding whatever flowers they could among the weeds of the camp. They testified to a beauty larger than themselves and a love that would outlive them. The Nazis killed Norbert Chopek, but his spirit, courage, and commitment live on today. Those qualities have passed now to us to make them real. His wife, Maya, brought the flower ceremony to the Unitarian Church in Cambridge, Massachusetts in 1940. What we are about to do is not a historical reenactment of something over and done, but an affirmation of our continuality with the generations of struggle for the ever-widening liberty. This flower ceremony, lovely though it is, isn't a diversion from ugly reality, but a fierce gentleness which proclaims that in the midst of sinister days, there is always the light of beauty.
Thank you. So all of these flowers have been brought before us today, and I would like to offer a blessing for these flowers before you pick out your own to take home with you. And we're going to do this as a responsive reading. There is a line in your order of service that says, "May our lives bloom like the flowers." So I'm going to read a statement and then kind of lift my hand up and invite you to read that statement in response, okay? Each of us is a flower with delicate beauty, uniquely our own. May we, like the sunflowers, turn towards the light. May our lives bloom like the flowers. May we, like the night blooming cereus only displaying our fragrant petals when it is dark and we think no one can see. May our lives bloom like the flowers. We may be hothouse flowers, far from our native lands, cautiously tended within harsh and unfamiliar climate. May our lives bloom like the flowers. May the gray-headed, like dandelions, eager to launch the new generation with the first strong gust of wind, past our own bright youth, but ready to pass our wisdom on in precious, gossamer-carried seeds. May our lives bloom like the flowers. Some of us sometimes spring up overnight and fade in the hot glare. May our lives bloom like the flowers. Some of us sometimes are roses, slowly assembling petal after tightly wrapped petal and revealing our full glory only when everything is in place. May our lives bloom like the flowers. Sometimes we are roadside weeds, loveliness bursting improbably from the dust and debris. May our lives bloom like the flowers. May we offer our beauty with simplicity of flowers, expecting no recognition, hoping for nothing, giving out of what we are and knowing it will be enough. May our lives bloom like the flowers. Amen, blessed be, and so mote it be. So, now for the fun part. At least I hope it is. We are going to, over the next few minutes, get up and move around, although I'm going to try to offer some direction and a little bit of organization, and I'm going to ask Leslie and Karen if they'll help me with some of that movement and direction. I also want to note that we have fresh flowers, freshly cut, that are over on the altar. And then we have an assortment of synthetic, some homemade, and others, well, I think most all of them are homemade, collection of flowers. And I want to also invite the folks that are in our back room that you may either come forward into the sanctuary to join us here or ask someone to bring a flower on your behalf. That also goes for anybody that would prefer to remain seated and have a flower brought to you by one of your neighbors sitting close by. And if you would like somebody else to get your flower, please ask someone, and also let them know which kind you would like, fresh or synthetic. Okay, so logistics. We're gonna start. I just saw a large animal. I'm not sure if it was a cat or something. I was very distracted for a second. So we're gonna start in this back corner. Aisle, and pick your flower, circle back down the left aisle and back to your seat. And then once we have finished with this side, the middle section will go out of your chairs, up the right aisle, get your flowers, and circle back to your seats on the left-hand side. And then the final group over here on the left, we will have you, I'm trying to think of logistics so you don't bump into each other going back to your seats. So if the ones in the front on this side go first, back around, and then we'll come to the back corner. Okay. I think that's all the logistics. We've done something similar to this for other services, so I know we can do it. And Paula has offered to play some music while we're up moving around collecting our flowers. So if those of you in the back right corner will start making your way forward. Thank you. There's such beauty in the enoughness of community. I had someone whisper to me, "Do you think we have enough?" I think we have more than enough, so that whether someone brought more or didn't bring them at all because they didn't know, or you forgot. Yes, I saw someone mouthing, or forgot. Some of them are fresh flowers, and others are handmade with love that are shared here in this community. We didn't come up with this ritual all on our own. As you heard Leslie read the story of the origins of our flower ceremony, which is this June will be 102nd year since it originated and has been celebrated pretty continuously and pretty broadly by our Unitarian Universalist congregations. And this is kind of a continuation of a service from a few weeks ago in March, in which all of you were invited to plant seeds. In little Dixie cups, we had wildflower seeds and sunflower seeds. And then you got to have the surprise of which one you ended up with, or some people I know put a little bit of both in their cup. And when you exchanged those, you were invited to take them home with you, to offer them the water, the air, the sun that they needed, like Wanda's roses when she was going to clear everything out. And then we had some here that got a little bit of water and a little bit of sunlight, and they started to sprout. But then we moved them around, and the watering wasn't as consistent. The sun wasn't as consistent. So I went and checked on them today, and they were a little bit brittle and hadn't sprouted. But despite that, we still have lots of flowers. Who here tended to their plant when they took it home? I heard a couple of people say they planted it. Maybe it sprouted, maybe you had a flower develop, maybe you haven't. Again, we all have different abilities, remembering to care for it, and knowing that the little Dixie cup is only going to keep it for so long if it starts growing a sunflower, because those can get pretty big. So today we had both fresh flowers and craft flowers that were shared here among us, representing the diversity and the beauty of this community, the abundance of this community, there being enough and then some for all of us to share. And any of our folks that are watching at home that would like a flower, please email me at minister@uufc.org, or one of your friends here, and we'll see about getting a flower to you as well, especially because we have lots of great craft flowers that will travel easily. When I invited you to plant seeds during that service, did you have to imagine what might grow? Maybe you knew what a sunflower looks like. Maybe you knew what wildflowers looked like, and so you could think about the future and what might come of those seeds that you planted. But then again, there's a lot of things that require our imagination, our understanding that goes beyond the moments that we are in currently. Because as Chopik endured a time of harm under the Nazi regime, even in the midst of that, he saw and found beauty. God, I hope, I pray that it does not get that bad. And even in the midst of the struggle, even in the midst of all that is going on in the world that breaks our hearts and make us uncertain about the coming days and weeks and years ahead, may we be reminded over and again that we have beauty in the world around us. We can seek that beauty in nature, in music, in community, being here together, sharing these flowers. I want to invite each of you, when you take your flower home, to find a spot to sit it where you can see it. Now, if you have a fresh flower, it's not going to last as long. But if you give it some water and some care, it'll last for a little while. Or you can put it in a book and press it, or dry it, and then it will last for a bit longer. But these flowers can serve as a reminder of the beauty that there is in this world, what we can carry with us, even when we face sadness, even when we face the unknown, the loss of what we thought would be. Maybe our flowers didn't bloom. Maybe the seeds were something we forgot to tend in the midst of everything else in our busy lives. Who here gets busy and forgets things? Okay, all right, I'm not alone, good. It's easy to forget things sometimes. But I hope that you will remember the beauty. I have been frustrated recently by the allergies and asthma that I have, and how much I enjoy being outside and going on hikes. And I think Mother Nature is conspiring against me to make me stay stuck inside. So I'm grateful for spaces like this where I can look out and see the green all around me, even if I can't spend very long out in it. And so it might look different. Your different age, different abilities, different locations, that you find a connection to the beauty of the world around you. Maybe it's one of many of you doing a craft of knitting or crocheting in this space here today, or those of you that don't have your craft here with you today, but do them at home to bring joy and care to others. Because I know some of our knitters and sewers and crocheters make things to share with other people, including like our mitten tree in December, spreading our care into the community beyond us. And I'm going to share in the newsletter this week a great little video that I got. Committed to working in various different ways, whether it is working for Habitat for Humanity or providing meals for our daily rest, or many of the other ways that you give back to this community. I was in awe with the 2-day notice that I gave y'all to help collect jackets and blankets for the folks in Western North Carolina after Helene hit. I wasn't sure if I was going to have enough space in my car. 2 days, y'all came up with all of that. There is such beauty in this community of care, sharing that with the communities that surround us, letting others know that they are not alone. And as Wanda found that her imagination could create these paper flowers to be shared, there were also people that cared enough about her, that they brought rose bushes to share, making more than enough and making her imagining of the lot full of roses come into being. Nothing lasts forever, good and bad. Nothing lasts forever. May our imaginations fuel us to move into a future, even if we can't know that it's going to happen, but that we can imagine will be that beloved community that we are seeking and that we are hoping for. Because the hard times, the heartbreaking times, the unjust times don't last forever. I know they won't. We've been through hard times before. We fought for the rights that we have, and some of them we're going to have to fight for again. And I don't know about y'all, but that makes me so mad. Me too. Yeah. And sometimes it's, I don't know about for you, but challenging to think, God, we're losing so much. How can I stay hopeful? How can we stay hopeful? And the way we have to do that is to find joy in the places that we can, to find beauty, to find reminders that this isn't going to last forever. My hope is that we will be able to see and find more joy, being reminded of it on a daily basis, renewing it throughout the year. I hope that you will take your flowers with you and that you will place them where you can be reminded of the beauty and diversity of all of the different kinds of flowers that were brought here and how they represent all of you and the beauty and differences among you. May you carry these blessings, this care with you, not just today, but in all of the days ahead. May it be so. May we make it so. And blessed be. And I want to invite you to rise in body, mind, or spirit one final time during the service, well, until you leave, to sing number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Over
Thank you. Before I offer our closing words and we go into our social time, I want to remind you that if you are a member, we have a congregational meeting that will start at noon, both in person and on Zoom. Please stay if you are a member because we do need a quorum. Also, if you're not a member and you would like to stay, you may do so, but you just won't be able to vote. Okay. So, I hope that the flowers here today bring you joy and beauty, and that you may move out into the world as you go in peace and return in love.